Okay, I'm going to show you how we make what we call a poor man's dry bag, and also we'll talk about how to pack up our food at the same time, because we usually use these poor man's dry bags for our food and also for some of our gear. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money on dry bags, a lot of dry bags, good ones, cost around $80 or so, you can do it this way and save yourself a lot of money. First thing you want to do is get yourself a roll of contractor trash bags, or excuse me, trash compactor bags. And that's what this is. They're about 3 mils thick. They come in scented and unscented. Make sure you get the unscented ones. So you'll get one of those trash compactor bags. And then the other thing you need is a nylon grain sack. They come in different sizes. This one's a medium-sized one, which is all we need for our breakfast bag. So you're going to open that, put your trash bag inside for a liner. And then what we've already done is we've gone through all of our oatmeal packets. These are those instant oatmeal packets that you like for breakfast. So we've got a bag of those. We're going to put them inside the trash bag in here. Get those down in there. Here's some more. And you notice we've already taken all the cardboard off of this and we've just repacked it in gallon Ziploc bags. This is all of our drinks for breakfast. We've got hot chocolate here, spiced apple cider, and we've even got coffee in here too. And I've got all the air out of this Ziploc bag, so it's not going to take up a lot of room in our bag. And then we're putting all this in here. These are all of our breakfast foods. We've also got some freeze-drieds here. These are granola with milk and blueberries, the Mountain House meals. And so we're going to put those in here as well. These really don't need to be protected from the water, but this just keeps them all contained and everything. So we're going to put them inside here as well. Okay, about got it. And then the last thing I've got that I usually throw in my breakfast bag, but you can put it in your kitchen box if you want. This is just some Crystal Light drink mix. And so we'll put that in our breakfast bag also, and we'll just remember that that's where it is. So we've got all this inside this plastic bag inside of our nylon poly bag. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull this outer bag out. We're going to gather as much of this plastic as we can, really low. We're going to twist it around a bunch of times. The idea is to get as much air out of the trash bag as we can. So I've got it all twisted like this. And then what I do is I double it over on itself. And then we take some parachute cord here, and I've got a loop tied in the end already. So I just run my loop around here. And I just take a couple of half hitches around this to cinch it down. And just a couple of half hitches is about all you need. Okay, now this is nice and tight. No water is going to go in there. If it sits out in the rain, it's going to be okay. You could duct tape that, but if you put duct tape around that, it's just going to rip the plastic when you take it off. This I can open and close multiple times. So then I've got that tied off. And then we're going to take this bag and we're going to gather it up around itself, twist it a couple of times, put another piece of parachute cord around this, and again we've got a loop in the end of it that we can tie off on. And then just run your cord around it a couple of times. Take a couple half hitches in it so it doesn't come loose. And I like to take my half hitches below the knot that's on the loop here, so that way it doesn't slip over and come loose on me. And then the last thing I'm going to do is grab some duct tape and a felt marker, and I'm just going to write breakfast. Grab this off of here, and the felt marker, that ink isn't going to run if it gets wet, so it makes it really nice. So we grab our duct tape, throw it off of there, slap it on the outside of our bag, and now we're all packed up. It says breakfast on it, so I can take this bag, I can load it in my freight shipment and ship it out to the bush. Then I can take it out of my freight shipment, put it in the airplane when we're flying out. And then when we get dropped off on the gravel bar, I can grab that out of my gear pile and set it right in the raft. There's no repack involved at all. I've done all my repack at home, and it saves all that time at the air charter office, and it saves a lot of time in the field too. So, poor man's dry bag. All my breakfast food's right there. I don't have to look for it in the field. It's all organized. I'll do the same thing with my lunch bags and also with my dinner foods, and I save a lot of money on dry bags. Plus it keeps everything weatherproof and nice and dry, so when we get out in the field, we're going to have our food's going to be in good shape. All right, what we're going to do now is pack up our lunch bags for our trip. I like to separate all my food out into breakfast, lunch, and dinner bags. So what I've got here is a roll of trash compactor bags. These are the unscented ones. You want to make sure that you get the ones that don't have any scent to them at all. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab one of these out, take it off the roll. Then we take this guy. What I like about these trash compactor bags is they're nice and thick. They're 3 mils thick, so it's hard to tear them, but they can still get torn during transit. So what I do is I put them inside what we call a poly bag or a nylon grain sack. These have never been used before. You can buy them in Anchorage at Alaska Mill and Feed for about $1 a piece. They come in different sizes. So we're going to use this trash bag as a liner inside that poly bag. And then at this point what we're going to do is go ahead and start putting our lunch bags together. I've got some gallon Ziplocs here. So you open one of those up, and you can put whatever you want into your lunch bags. Here I'm just kind of going around, and we've got some candy bars and some snacks and that type of stuff. Just so whatever you like. Here's some fruit. And so you just get this all loaded up. And then we've got all of our snack items in this Ziploc bag. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and close it up, but we're going to bleed the air out of it so it doesn't create a problem for us with bulk. And close it all up. Now I've got a snack bag all ready to go, and then in camp all I have to do is make a sandwich, put it in its own Ziploc, throw it in here, and there's my lunch. So it saves a lot of prep time out in the field. You don't have to spend a lot of time building your lunches. So then we're going to take these, we're going to put them inside here, and we'll make one of those for each person for each day. So this is going to be a 10-day hunt. We've got 2 guys going, so we're going to need 20 of these lunch bags all prepped and ready to go. Once we get them all put together, we're going to take the top of the bag, twist it shut like this, double it back over on itself, tie the top with parachute cord instead of duct tape, and that allows us to open and reopen and close it as many times as we want without tearing the bag. If we use duct tape, it'll tear the bag. And once we get that closed up, then we pull the top of this bag up, we close it up, twist it a couple of times just to get it nice and snug, tie parachute cord around that, and seal that up. And then on the outside we'll put some duct tape and we'll just write lunch bags on that. So when we're on the river, we'll know exactly where our lunch bags are. We don't have to look around for things. This also simplifies loading in the airplane. This is a nice soft package. It can be packed just about anywhere in the aircraft for fly-out trips. So we pack these all up at home. Then when we ship them out to the bush, if we're going to go with an air cargo company or something, we just put this with our freight shipment. We don't have to repack it or anything. And then if you fly out to the bush with these, some of the villages in Alaska don't have covered storage with the air cargo facilities, so your stuff is going to sit outside in the rain until you get there to pick it up. So these are all weatherproof. They can't get damaged from water or anything, and because we've sealed them up inside a plastic bag. And then once we get to where we're loading our air charter, we just take these bags, put them right on the airplane, we fly out to the field, we get everything out on the gravel bar. Even if it's raining, we can throw all this stuff outside and it's not going to be damaged from rainfall. And then we can load the same bag right in the raft. The only other thing that you might want to do has to do with the color of these bags. They only come in white, and so what you can do if you're concerned about all this white color out on the river with animals being able to see it on hunting trips and whatnot, then you can just get some spray paint and camouflage the bag yourself with just a rattle can of some green or black or whatever you want to use to cut that white color down a little bit. If you don't do that, then just cover your load with a tarp in the boat and it'll eliminate that color issue. So that's how we pack our lunch bags. We're going to go ahead and keep on going until we get them all done. We throw most of our trash away before we, or while we're packing up our food, but I've got a nice little heavy-duty cardboard box from some Ziploc bags, so I can take my bread, and it fits just perfectly in there, and the box gives it structural support so the bread can't get crushed. And I've got some tuna packets here. I like these packets because I don't have a can that I have to deal with out in the field. Tuna normally comes in a can, but you can get chicken, and you can also get tuna in these foil packets, and it makes a lot less trash out in the field. So I can slip those down in here because when we make up our lunches, we're going to use this tuna and also the bread at the same time. So I've got them in the same box. It's easier to find them when I'm out in the field. So I got this box packed up, and then any of my condiments, like oh, here's some Miracle Whip or mayo or whatever, it comes in a squeeze bottle. I like the plastic squeeze bottles instead of glass if you can get them. This, I've got some hot sauce. This is Cholula. It's pretty good stuff. It comes in a glass bottle, so once in a while you get glass like that you just really can't avoid. It does add a lot of weight though, so you might want to take a look at whether you want to bring very much glass. So I've got a little cardboard box here. I'm throwing my mayo in here, my hot sauce. I've got some jelly here for sandwiches. I'll throw my peanut butter down in there and my mustard, and then I can put this inside a box. This is just a box that we had for some fruit snacks that we packed in our lunches. So that's all closed up really nice. I put some duct tape on the top, and I write mayo, PBJ, Cholula, and mustard, so I know what's in here and I don't have to open it every time to figure it out. And then what we do at that point, we've got our trash bag liner. This is a trash compactor bag, unscented, inside a nylon poly grain sack. And I'll just go ahead and take this bread box and I'll close it up like that. Now, no matter if something's sitting on that or not during transit, my bread's not going to get smashed. And then I'll take this and I'll put it inside here, so it's nice and protected from the weather. And then I'll take this little box here and slip it right down in. Now all I have to do is take the top of the bag, draw all the air out of it, twist it around a few times, just like that, like a little rope, double it back over on itself. Put my parachute cord around here, which I've tied a loop in the end. So all I do is I just catch this loop, just like that, and I run the cord around it, and then I go right below my knot there, cinch that down. You can take a couple half hitches around it if you want to. That'll keep the rain from getting into that bag if it's sitting out on a gravel bar somewhere, or if I'm flying out of a village. Sometimes my freight sits out on the flight line because there's no covered storage, and it can wait for me to get there. Then I take this top, close it up, do the same thing on it. I'll put some duct tape on the outside and I'll write bread and condiments on there, and then when I'm out in the field I'll know exactly what's in this bag and I don't have to dig for things.